What's going down, our faithful, and to everybody watching this video, all NFL fans? Thank you for checking out my channel. But today we're going to be talking about, I just uploaded about an hour ago, if the 49ers should go out and trade for Antonio Brown, because right after I uploaded that video, a report came out saying that he requested a trade, so he wants out of Pittsburgh. So the Niners need to go full on and try to get Antonio Brown, like I said in the video. But a report came out just shortly after I got the report that Antonio Brown had requested a trade. And now it says that the 49ers would be highly interested in getting Odell Beckham Jr. if the Giants decide to trade him. So pretty much the Niners need to look at it in perspective of Antonio Brown or Odell Beckham Jr. Probably the top, both of them guys are top 3 in the NFL. I think Antonio Brown's 1. Odell is arguably number 2. Heck, you could even put him at number 3 if you want to put Julio or one of the other top-notch receivers in the game at 2. But this is the thing about, and this is the difference between Odell Beckham Jr. and Antonio Brown. Steelers are going to want a lot more for Antonio Brown than the Giants would want for Odell Beckham Jr. Considering the fact that the Giants they might decide to shop Odell Beckham Jr., Antonio Brown is requesting a trade. So obviously it's going to take a lot more for Pittsburgh for the Niners to try to reel in Antonio Brown. So you look at, on the other hand, you get Odell Beckham Jr., another top-notch receiver who is younger than Antonio Brown, which is a positive. But Antonio Brown still is obviously the best receiver in the NFL. But you could do it this way too. You could try and go out and get Antonio Brown and kind of leave Odell Beckham Jr., but you're gonna have to pay. You're gonna have to give more to the Pittsburgh Steelers to try and get Antonio Brown. So Odell Beckham Jr., I don't know who I'd rather prefer. Honestly, I prefer both, and I don't really care who we get. I just want to get at least one of them this offseason. But I could see the Niners going out and getting Odell Beckham Jr. before they get Antonio Brown, because obviously you don't want to throw so much more into the table for just one wide receiver. Yes, he's a top-notch receiver. Yes, he's Antonio Brown, in my opinion, is the best receiver in the NFL. But you don't want to throw everything you got in, your draft picks, your players. You don't want to throw everybody in to just get one receiver in a need we don't necessarily. That's a wide receiver, like I said, is not our first need. So you don't want to throw everything, all these draft picks, all these players to the Steelers to get Antonio Brown when that's not the only need. That's not our biggest need on this team needs. We're certain to find another defensive back. We're certain to find another defensive lineman, bump up the guards position, the interior offensive line, and we could use a pass rusher. Obviously, we need a pass rusher, and we could use a wide receiver. But if you go out and get Odell Beckham Jr., yeah, you're probably going to have to throw out, draft picks, maybe a player in there as well, maybe multiple draft picks. But at the same time, it's not going to be as much throwing to the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think, and trying to get Antonio Brown. So there's 2 ways you can go. At the end of the day, you're still getting a top-notch receiver in the game. Odell's younger, and Antonio Brown's older, so that's a plus. That's an advantage that Odell has over Antonio Brown. But it's not just the fact that, Pittsburgh. It's not just the fact that the Niners need to throw out, all these draft picks, all these players for Antonio Brown. Well, we could really throw less to the New York Giants and trying to get Odell Beckham Jr. So it goes 2 ways, but at the end of the day, it looks like the Giants could very likely be shopping Odell Beckham Jr. this offseason. And obviously the report came out and said that Antonio Brown is requesting a trade from the Pittsburgh Steelers. So big news in the NFL just 2 days after the NFL season ended, but that's very big news for the